You make every journey special.
And you make everything an adventure.
The private terminal buzzed with quiet luxury as passengers boarded the overnight flight from New York to Paris. Among them was billionaire tech magnate Ethan Caldwell, tall, confident, and dressed in an expensive tailored suit. Ethan walked through the VIP entrance with a young woman on his arm. Her name was Vanessa Hart, a social media influencer nearly 20 years younger than him. Vanessa smiled proudly as cameras flashed outside the terminal. To the world, she appeared to be Ethan's glamorous companion. What nobody knew was that Ethan had been married for 11 years, and his wife was on that very flight, not in first class, not beside him, but working the cabin as a senior flight attendant. Her name was Amelia Caldwell. For months, Amelia had suspected her husband was having an affair. Late-night business trips, secretive phone calls, messages he quickly deleted, strange charges on credit cards. The signs had been impossible to ignore. But Amelia wasn't the type to accuse without proof, so she waited, watched, and gathered evidence quietly. When Ethan announced he would be flying to Paris for an important conference, Amelia used her seniority to switch schedules and join the same route. She wanted answers. What she got was something much bigger. As passengers settled into their seats, Amelia walked through first class performing pre-departure checks. Her heart nearly stopped when she saw Ethan. Not because he was there, because Vanessa was sitting beside him, laughing, holding his hand, wearing a diamond bracelet Amelia herself had received as an anniversary gift years earlier. The same bracelet Ethan had claimed was lost during a move. Amelia felt a wave of betrayal crash through her chest. But years of professional training kept her expression calm. She continued working. Ethan looked up briefly. Their eyes met for half a second. Then Ethan looked away, pretending not to know her, pretending his wife was just another crew member. Vanessa noticed nothing. As the aircraft climbed above the clouds, Ethan ordered champagne, the most expensive bottle available. Vanessa snapped photos of herself in first class. People love luxury content, she giggled. Ethan smirked. You deserve the best. Amelia served the drinks professionally. Neither of them thanked her. Hours passed. Then something unexpected happened. A severe storm developed over the Atlantic. The aircraft began encountering turbulence. Seatbelt signs illuminated. Passengers grew nervous. Cabin crew secured the cabin quickly. During one violent jolt, Vanessa screamed. Her phone flew from her hand. Champagne spilled across her designer outfit. Panic filled her face. Meanwhile, Amelia moved through the cabin, helping frightened passengers, calming children, assisting elderly travelers, remaining composed under pressure. Many passengers noticed, including Ethan. For the first time that evening, he truly looked at his wife, and he saw something he hadn't appreciated in years. Strength, grace, professionalism, character, everything he had taken for granted. The turbulence eventually passed. But another surprise was waiting. As the flight continued, an elderly passenger in business class suddenly collapsed. Medical emergency. The cabin erupted into action. Amelia immediately coordinated the response. A doctor on board assisted. Emergency equipment was brought out. The crew worked tirelessly for nearly 30 minutes. Finally, the passenger stabilized. The cabin broke into relieved applause. Several passengers thanked Amelia personally. One of those passengers happened to be Jacques Beaumont, a billionaire investor from France. Unknown to most on board, Jacques controlled one of Europe's largest private investment groups. He had witnessed everything: the emergency, Amelia's leadership, and Ethan's behavior. Jacques recognized Ethan from business magazines, but he also noticed Ethan had spent most of the flight focused on impressing Vanessa, while Amelia had been busy helping others. Interesting, he thought. Very interesting. After landing in Paris, passengers disembarked. Jacques approached Amelia. You handled that emergency exceptionally well. Thank you, sir. You have remarkable leadership skills. She smiled politely. Just doing my job. Jacques handed her a business card. If you ever wish to leave aviation, call me. Amelia thanked him and slipped the card into her bag. Meanwhile, Ethan and Vanessa checked into one of Paris's most luxurious hotels. What Ethan didn't know was that his empire was about to face a crisis. Back in New York, financial regulators had launched an investigation into several questionable acquisitions made by his company. The news broke 48 hours later. Stock prices plunged. Investors panicked. Board members demanded explanations. Suddenly, Ethan's world began collapsing. The same friends who had celebrated him stopped answering calls. Business partners disappeared. And Vanessa, she became increasingly concerned. Not about Ethan, about herself. When headlines turned negative, she started distancing herself. The expensive dinners became less frequent. The affectionate messages slowed. The glamorous relationship suddenly looked less attractive. Then came the final blow. The board voted to remove Ethan as CEO pending investigation. His fortune shrank dramatically. Within weeks, he lost hundreds of millions. Vanessa left immediately. No goodbye, no loyalty, no tears. Just gone. Ethan sat alone in a luxury apartment that suddenly felt empty. For the first time, he realized what he had sacrificed. Not money, not status. Amelia, the woman who had stood beside him before success, before fame, before wealth. The woman who had loved him when he owned almost nothing. Desperate, Ethan contacted her. She agreed to meet in a quiet Paris cafe. When she arrived, Ethan barely recognized her. She looked happier, confident, at peace. "Amelia," he said softly, "I made a terrible mistake." She listened silently. "I lost everything." "No," Amelia replied calmly. "You lost what mattered long before you lost your money." The words hit harder than any headline. Ethan lowered his eyes. "I know." For several moments, neither spoke. Then Amelia placed a document on the table. Divorce papers. Ethan stared at them, pain spreading across his face. "I don't want this." "I didn't want any of it either." He couldn't argue. She was right. Months earlier, she had discovered the truth. The lies, the affair, the deception, and she had already moved on emotionally. But there was one more surprise. Amelia, revealed Jacques Beaumont, had offered her a senior executive role overseeing customer experience for one of his international hospitality companies. She had accepted. The position paid more than she had ever imagined. Her leadership skills had opened doors she never expected. She no longer needed Ethan. Not financially, not emotionally, not in any way. Months later, Amelia stood on the balcony of her new office overlooking Paris. Life had changed dramatically. She had built a future on her own terms, one defined by integrity rather than luxury. Meanwhile, Ethan watched from afar as her success continued growing. He eventually understood a painful truth. The greatest loss of his life wasn't the company, wasn't the fortune, wasn't the status. It was the loyal woman he ignored while chasing an illusion. The mistress loved the billionaire. The wife loved the man. And by the time Ethan understood the difference, it was already too late.